you think a lot of parents would, encourage their children's kind of high aspirations.
Yes.
But like you told your mom,
when I was a kid, before I wanted to be a comedian, my dream was to be the president of the United States. It's the only real job I ever wanted. Okay? Only time I wanted an office. I wanted to be the president of the United States. And I told my mother, and she's like, "Plan! They got Elon. They're gonna put him in a rocket ship. We call it Space Mex." Oh, yeah. J-Lo's gonna marry Ben again just so she can stay in the country.
Chris Rock just delivered a major blow to Donald Trump. The iconic comedian unleashed such a fierce roast that even Melania couldn't maintain her composure, resulting in a dramatic outburst that will be remembered. Rock's sharp critique left Trump seething, the online community buzzing, and MAGA supporters scrambling for justifications. Let's unpack this. Let's be honest. Trump being roasted is hardly a new phenomenon. It's almost a national sport. However, this time, it wasn't just another late-night host or social media critic taking shots. It was Chris Rock, the comedy icon known for transforming any scandal or tantrum into comedic gold. He executed a takedown so intense that even Melania, who often appears as lively as a wax figure, couldn't keep it together. The truth is, Trump has been the target of jokes for years. From his claims of being a self-made billionaire, spoiler, he isn't, to boasting about his supposedly brilliant mind, spoiler, it's not, he's practically a living punchline. But this roast was different, not just because Rock delivered it with his trademark sharpness, but because it hit Trump right in his most sensitive spot, his ego. Imagine this.
Trump is not playing, man. That's right. This time is totally different. He's working with the #1 African-American in the world, the richest African-American in the world, Elon Musk. That's right, he is African-American. Elon got more kids than the Cleveland Browns.
Rock strides onto the stage, microphone in hand, his eyes glinting with that familiar mischief that signals a verbal onslaught is about to begin. And the target? America's favorite spray-tan sore loser. With his trademark wit, Rock dissected Trump's reality TV-style leadership, his social media outbursts, and the baffling mystery of how he managed to go bankrupt while running casinos. The audience erupted in laughter, while Trump's usual bright orange hue reportedly shifted to a concerning shade of beet red. Then came the final blow.
The cast of The Apprentice is running the world. Trump, the daughter, Omarosa, they run the world, man. Yo, man, this.
Rock likened Trump to a faded sitcom character. Think Al Bundy, but with 91 felony charges and an unhealthy obsession with spray-on hair. The crowd went wild. Trump, whose sensitivity rivals that of a thin receipt, reportedly lost his cool. Insiders claim he went into full meltdown mode. It appears someone was running low on energy. Perhaps he reached out to his lawyer, or maybe he contacted Rudy Giuliani, who, let's face it, was likely responding from the depths of a bottle. Regardless, it was clear that panic had set in. Trump's entire image relies on the facade of being invulnerable. And then along comes Chris Rock, effortlessly dismantling that illusion right before our eyes. And let's not overlook the fact that Rock isn't just any comedian. His wit is so sharp that even Will Smith found it overwhelming. If Trump believed he could simply brush this off, he must have mistaken it for one of his rallies, where the audience is about as varied as a jar of mayonnaise. Unsurprisingly, the internet exploded. Memes, tweets, and reaction videos surged across social media faster than Trump can yell, "Witch hunt." Even those who usually avoid political discussions couldn't resist tuning in to witness the former president being verbally taken down by one of the greatest comedians of our era. If Trump's history is any indication, he'll soon be venting on Truth Social, essentially Twitter's less popular sibling, calling Rock a loser, a hack, and of course, unfunny.
Thank you very much. Okay, but before we even get started, let's hey, the elephant in the room. President Trump's in the hospital from COVID, and I just want to say my heart goes out to COVID.
But let's be honest, Trump getting riled up over a joke is as predictable as the sunrise. Chris Rock didn't just roast him, he did what America has been doing for years. laughing at the ridiculousness of a man who once looked directly at a solar eclipse and thought he was winning. Everyone's concerned. I mean, we got Luigi, and that's a positive. I genuinely sympathize with the family. It seems like everyone's fixated on how good looking this guy looks. If you look like Jonah Hill, no one would care. They already gave them a chair, already be dead.
That's exactly what happened. We got rid of bullies, a real bully showed up, and nobody knew how to handle him.
Okay, Tris, Rock didn't just mock Trump's typical catastrophes, like when he proposed nuking hurricanes, or looked straight into a solar eclipse, like a guy trying to win a staring contest with the sun. No, this time, Rock shot lower. He hit Trump where it hurts, his desperate attempt to be taken seriously when all he does is cartoonishly stupid. Things consider, this is a man who attempted to Sharpie himself out of a hurricane for forecast. Weather broadcasters out there, take note. Do not try to Sharpie your way out of a hurricane. A man who hurled paper towels at victims of the hurricane like he was hosting some sort of dystopian The Price is Right. A man who, in front of cameras and medical professionals, jokingly proposed injecting disinfectant to fight a lethal virus like a demented infomercial presenter selling the world's worst life hack, and Chris Rock, being the razor-tipped comedian he is, wasn't about to let that pass.
Everybody's worried. Everybody's worried. I mean, we got Luigi. We got Luigi, you know, and that's good. I really feel sorry for the family. I mean, everybody's fixated on how good looking this guy looks. If you look like Jonah Hill, no one would care. They'd already given him a chair already. Be dead, okay?
He seized on the stupidity of Trump's greatest hits and amplied it, demonstrating how strange and disconnected the former president actually is. Rock's humor does not simply depend on level roasts. It thrives on revealing the stupidity that lies beneath the veneer. He knows Trump is not only a man who utters stupidities, he's a man who utters stupidities with total conviction, as if wiling stupidity into existence by sheer force of self-confidence. Use the infamous Trump rally moments when he awkwardly danced to YMCA like a broken animatronic character at a Chuck E. Cheese Rock set the scene perfectly. That described the character of a man so off-kilter with reality that even his dance steps seemed to be running on a different plane. Or what about Trump's fixation on crowd sizes? Rock had a blast with that one, calling out how Trump handles attendance figures like a teenager, exaggerating about how many people appeared at their birthday party. No one had a larger turnout than me. Sure, pal. And no one lost the popular vote by a wider margin, and still insisted it was a landslide. But Rock didn't just stop at the glaring holes. He went into the sheer pettiness that characterizes Trump's personality. The compulsion to put his name on everything, like a desperate real estate developer who knows in his heart the product isn't so great. Trump Tower, Trump Steaks, Trump University. Each one a reminder of the theory that if you declare something is good enough, times maybe people will believe it, and naturally, Rock didn't miss the golden chance to mention Trump's legal woes, the various indictments, the hush money hoax, the never-ending investigations, each one serving. Notice that if Trump were not a former president, he'd be a guest. Character on Law and Order, Rock established the fact Trump's not merely an erratic politician, he's a human SNL sketch. Except the punchline, "Stow be humorous," a while ago. Rock's comedic destruction wasn't about being funny. It was about holding up a mirror to the ridiculousness of an age where the most powerful man on earth made decisions with the mentality of a reality TV contestant. And in typical Chris Rock style, he left the crowd in stitches and shaking their heads.
Nothing's gonna happen to Trump. Here's the crazy thing. It might just work out. Trump might work out. Yeah, I said it. Trump might work out. I mean, think about it this way. Bush was so bad, he gave us Obama.
Wondering how we ever let it come this far. And Melania, poor Melania, she's been held captive in this reality show. Nightmare for years, after all the side eyes, all the hand swats, and all the awkward help me gazes and photo ops. She finally snapped. Because if there's one thing Melania Trump cannot abide. Besides, you know her husband. It's being dragged into his circle of humiliation, and this time she wasn't just part of the joke. She was center stage. See, Rock's joke wasn't just about Trump, it was about the dynamic between Donald and Melania. If body language could file divorce papers, Melania's posture would have done it in 2017. Rock's roast brought to light what we all kind of knew, but never said out loud. Melania has been running the longest unpaid internship in First Lady history. She lost it. She threw a tantrum so massive, it probably registered on the Roe R scale. For years, Melania Trump has been navigating this bizarre political landscape with designer sunglasses and vague platitudes about being the best, all while secretly plotting her escape. Let's be honest, she's always played the part of the reluctant hostage in this political comedy. When she's not dodging Trump's hand like it's covered in old KFC grease, she's delivering the most lifeless, soul-draining speeches you can imagine. Remember that time she literally lifted Michelle Obama's speech word for word? It was like watching a high schooler scramble to finish a book report at the last minute. That's Melania in a nutshell. Trapped, detached, and perpetually bewildered about how she ended up here. Yet she somehow managed to keep her feelings buried beneath layers of Botox and sheer willpower, until now. Chris Rock really hit the nail on the head because nothing irritates Melania more than being reminded that she's stuck in this awkward First Lady role, pretending to enjoy her husband's company. But honestly, can we blame her? Let's take a moment to appreciate just how ridiculous this whole marriage is. Melania went from being a model to marrying a man who paints himself like a traffic cone and thinks he's a stable genius. This is a guy who believes that exercise drains your energy like a 90s Tamagotchi and thinks wind turbines cause cancer. He even tried to buy green land, as if it were on sale at Costco. This is the reality Melania wakes up to every day. Every morning, this is her reality. So when Chris Rock delivered that roast, it wasn't just about putting Trump on blast. It was about finally voicing what everyone's been thinking. Melania is stuck, and honestly, it's pretty funny. Of course, Trump being Trump didn't take it lightly. The guy has two modes, rage tweeting or, well, rage truthing now that he's been kicked off Twitter. He's been busy trying to convince everyone that he won an election. He lost by 7 million votes, so you can bet his reaction to Chris Rock was nothing short of chaotic. He probably kicked things off with his usual greatest hits. Nobody's ever been treated worse than me. Chris Rock is failing. Fake news, many people are saying. And when that didn't land, he likely spiraled into a classic Trump meltdown, frantically calling his lawyers, claiming defamation, and threatening to sue a comedian for doing what comedians do. Meanwhile, Melania was having her own moment, because let's face it, she's not one for damage control. This is the same woman who wore a jacket that boldly said, "I really don't care, do you?" on a trip to visit children in cages. Subtlety isn't exactly her forte, so when she lost it, she went full nuclear. Imagine the most epic meltdown you've ever witnessed. Multiply that by 10 and throw in a Slovenian accent. One can only picture her reaction. Imagine Melania storming through Trump Tower, knocking over those golden chairs, yelling at the staff, and tossing priceless decor around like confetti. If there's one thing Melania can't stand more than being married to Trump, it's the public embarrassment that comes with it. And let's be real, Chris Rock's roast wasn't just hilarious. It hit way too close to home. At the end of the day, Trump is a guy who craves fear and respect, but he often ends up looking like a rejected extra from a low-budget reality show about failed business moguls. As for Melania, she's just biding her time, waiting for the season finale when she can make her grand exit. So what's next in the Trump-Melania saga? History suggests that Trump will continue to be a walking punchline. Chris Rock will keep racking up those standing ovations, and Melania has a couple of choices. Either keep dodging his attempts to hold her hand, or start looking for divorce lawyers. One thing's for sure. Chris Rock just gave America its new favorite joke, and for once, Melania might just be on board.